PK, it's hard to know what to say after a game like that, but you must be pleased with the win, but specifically that it was a four-quarter effort today.
Yeah, I think that's what we take out of it. Like, we wanted to be pretty relentless and ruthless with ourselves. You know, it was as much demanding from ourselves that we continued to play the way we wanted to play, setting up the right way, playing from that. Both really proactively with our defence, and then also, picking our right moments in terms of attack to, be smart, when to use speed, do those sorts of things. So, we were pretty good at that. I thought the end of the second quarter we were a bit disappointed. We sort of let them get out the front a little bit. We didn't really stick to what we were looking to do. But the rest of the game we stuck pretty well. Didn't convert as well as we could have in that last quarter, which is something we've just got to get better at and work on, because in big games the difference between points and goals can be massive. But no, look, it was good. We did what we needed to do. We didn't relent through four quarters, so it was good.
So looking at the key stats, you're pretty dominant across all of them. Did you expect North Hobart to come out like that today, or did you expect after their sort of pretty decent showing against Clarence that they'd show more?
Oh, look, I'd be lying if I said I didn't come to the game a little bit worried. Clarence last week started, they kicked points early and they gave North Hobart a lot of encouragement, and you could just see the body language of their young players really growing, and that was a really good performance from them, just in terms of, take away the scoreboard, their competitiveness and their spirit, and so it was really promising. And I just knew today, if we didn't start well, if we didn't have the right intent, if we weren't starting from the right starting points, that we could open the door for them and make it a long day. So I couldn't have been happier with that first quarter. I thought our IQ in terms of the way we wanted to attack them was great. We were able to pick them apart in the ways we had identified, but then also our pressure was really good in that we didn't allow them opportunities to counter-attack, and were fantastic around the contest, and making sure if they won it, it was an ugly win. So that first quarter was really good, and then the second quarter, even though again we missed a couple of shots we'd like to normally make, the execution up for the majority of that was good, and it really ended the game. And I've played in young teams, and you just know that you put that foot down, that in the end they will drop away, and so it was good. It was a sort of game that we needed, as we now continue to build over the next 3 weeks.
Speaking of younger players, it must be good to see how your players, your younger boys, have matured and found their place as the season's gone on.
Yeah, it's been good, and we've had a few really good senior players out most, if not the whole season, that we've been hoping to get back. We don't know whether we will get them back in time, and to be in the position we're in, it's a real credit to some of those younger guys, the way we've stepped up, and it's been a good year for the club in that we've been able to give opportunities to a lot of young guys. And so now get towards finals, positions start to tighten up a little bit in the team, and we'll get to see which ones can really step up and keep doing their job. But that's been a pleasing aspect of the season. And as we head into the finals, whether we get some other guys back, we don't know. So again, we could continue to rely on those young blokes to really step up and support Reece Mott and Daniel Joseph and Jay Bowden and Braden Webb and Josh Arnold and these guys. So it's a good balance in our team. Let's see whether we can build up and become a good finals team with that outfit.
How did you see Braden Webb's sort of first game back today?
I was rusty, but that's okay. He's missed a lot of footy. I think it was 9 weeks ago that he last played. That's another pleasing thing for us to have been without him for so long and still being able to, put together a reasonably good season so far has been pleasing. Same with Zach Webster. Missed a lot of footy and some other guys, but it's great to have him back. And it's great that he got through. He didn't get injured. He, got a bit of the ball, got rid of a bit of rust, and we look forward to him being better next week.
Thought Big Cam Duffy was sensational in giving your midfielders first use of the ball, especially in that first half.
Yeah, he was, and I thought, young Jake Steele gave Clarence some troubles last week, particularly around the ground. Credit to the Mariners and to North Hobart with the way they've developed him this year, and I thought Duff did a great job on him, and he's had a pretty good season, and when he plays well, we tend to play well.
I also thought Mitch Rainbird and Ryan Banks-Smith on that close wing, especially in the first half, was sensational.
Yeah, and Ryan Banks-Smith, he's only 17, and it's easy to forget that because he's been in the Mariners program and you sort of look forward to him coming back. But you do realise just how much learning he still has to do, and I really had to change my mindset with him a little bit and really get back to treating him as a 17-year-old and just teaching him and putting time into him. And he's been great. He played his role exceptionally well today. He did it well last week too. So that's pleasing, and if he continues to grow and learn, he'll be important for us in the finals. And Mitch Rainbird's another player who, he's 21, but his growth and development this year and his willingness to improve has been, I've been really impressed with that.
What can you tell us about Bailey Bester? I thought he really backed himself in today and he didn't look out of place. Sometimes you see with the younger players the willingness to sort of hand off a goal maybe they could take, but he backed himself a few times and converted.
Yep, so Bailey's Glenorchy junior. But once he finished juniors, he decided to go play local footy at Claremont. Late in the pre-season this year, he was living with Zach Webster, and Zach was sort of saying, hey, come on, you're a good player, come down, come back to Glenorchy. And he did, and he's had a few opportunities during the year, and because he'd missed the pre-season, just his knowledge of how to play our style of footy and play state league footy was lacking. But what has been impressive is that when he's always gone back to development with the right attitude, and 2 weeks ago he went back, and for the first time he looked like a senior player playing development, not just a talented player. And so he's someone who's giving himself a real shot, to be an important player for us later in the year. And the key for him, like all our young guys, is to not be happy with one or two good games, but keep doing those little things that are their job in the team and that help make us a good team.
Just sort of 4-quarter efforts like today give you further reinforce that confidence that on your day you can topple any side in the competition?
Oh, look, we already have that. We've beaten all the other teams in the top 5 by 8 goals or more. So we know our best footy is really good. A lot of the stuff we're doing at the moment is identifying the ways that we can play our best footy for longer, but also control the game better when we're not playing our best footy. And so today probably doesn't change much. Like, we knew we were capable of a performance like that. We've just got to keep building, even though we have a decent crew of young guys, we've got to be a hardened senior team by the time we hit finals, or we won't be able to achieve what we want to.
Bear, bit of a rough afternoon. What are your thoughts, I guess, just straight off the field?
We were very disappointed, obviously. At no stage during the game could we get our hands on the ball enough, but you've got to give some credit to Glenorchy as well. I thought they were exceptional today, and I don't think it mattered who they would have played today. They would have come away with a win. They've had some really big wins out here. And they stitched Clarence up by 10 goals earlier in the year. I think Lauderdale early in the season they won by over 100. So when they get the momentum, they're very hard to stop.
Having said that, I completely agree. They probably would have toppled anyone today. But you must be disappointed, especially after last week's pretty solid effort against Clarence.
Yeah, last week we were really good for 3 quarters, and maybe players may have got a little bit ahead of themselves in a little sense that we're okay last week, it'll just happen again this week. And unfortunately, we didn't want to work hard enough, particularly early. I think 7 goals to 0 at quarter time, behind the 8 ball a fair bit there. So, we had a couple of younger guys come in today again. So we had 15 teenagers. I suppose it sounds like an excuse, but it's just a reality of where we're at right now as a footy club, that our list is probably, clearly the youngest list in the competition. So we just need to make sure we keep ensuring the guys understand the standards that are required to be good TSL players on a consistent basis. And obviously today we showed up that there's guys playing that aren't at that standards yet, so we know we've got a lot of hard work to do.
Speak about the young list. A lot of the sort of younger boys, especially in defence, saw a fair bit of action today. Who impressed you, despite the big loss?
I suppose they probably would have had 80 inside 50, so the guys had an opportunity to get their hands on the ball a little bit behind the ball. But I think Tommy Reeves, like I said to the coaching group, I said I'd love 22 Tommy Reeves because I know what I get every week. I think he's going to be an exceptional player next year, and I hope he works his backside off to give himself a chance to play Mariners, obviously full-time next year. So I thought Senior Williams battled pretty hard under tough circumstances. It's probably hard, to be perfectly honest. It's a bit raw after a big loss to have too many good players, so I'd have to watch the tapes.
What do you do? I guess what do you do during the week after a loss like this, especially when you've sort of been stringing some pretty decent competitive efforts together? How do you bounce back?
Straight after the game, we spoke about that it's all about preparations, understanding your opponent's strengths and weaknesses, and making sure your preparation was first class leading into the game to give you an opportunity to play well. At the conclusion of the talk, I actually said we just have to stick together. Like, we are a close group, we're a young group, but we just have to stick together, and we have to make sure we ensure that we work hard during the week so we don't dish up a performance like that again on Saturday against North Lonnie. So, just as I said, we have to stick together, which we will, and then we just got to make sure our preparation is right.
Got yourself at the helm next year, and obviously Cole is going to come back in more of a full-time capacity. And you do have the younger players like Pepin speaking during the week about the group sticking together. That's exciting for next year, but to wrap up this year, I guess, do you have certain goals or focus for the next few weeks?
We just want consistent training efforts, and which hopefully translates to consistent efforts on the weekend. So we've still got a lot of work to do. Like, people have to understand that what we're left with players leaving for one reason or another, is a pretty tough environment to start with, but we're proud as a club that despite some people saying we wouldn't be around, we've stuck together. We have the most unbelievable board that support the footy club. The footy club is so well supported off field, and we're putting things in place to ensure that results like today don't happen again, because we're in this for the long haul. And I'm confident we've got the right people around us that can make this club great again. And I know you're probably thinking right now that we've been beaten by 150 points, they're kidding themselves. But we generally think that off field we're getting ourselves in a good position, not only with good people, but financially the club's getting themselves back on deck, so it enables us to be able to recruit. And we're going to recruit as hard as we can because we need to add the 24, 25-year-old solid bodies to help these kids out next year going forward. So not looking too far ahead, but we can't wait till pre-season kicks off, because we've already had our coaches meeting about how it's going to be played out. So we're generally excited that we think we can put a program in place that people are going to get better, and which obviously makes our club competitive next year. So we're really excited about that.